back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. I'm Spike the Butcher, and today I'm going to be building a couple of aviaries for you. I'm going to build a small one and I'm going to build a large one. So this one is going to be a small aviary which will house a couple of species of flying reptiles. I'll just show you roughly some of the best ways to build an aviary. So I've paused the game, or should we say we paused the time, so nothing is built. So you don't have to worry about the domes, you can see directly into the actual enclosure. So we're going to start with some water for a little pond or a little lake. Now most of the reptiles like a big amount of water. They're not too bothered about too much land, as long as you've got enough land for them to sit down on, but normally you'd have rocks or perches. Now a gallery this, a paddock this size, you really only need one gallery. It will cover the whole entire area. So we're going to raise the edge up so we have a bank at one end. We won't have it all the way around, otherwise from the gallery viewing point you won't actually be able to see into the pond, should we call it. If we build it up on one side, it's good. Going to want to do is add some texture, so rock on the front of the cliff face that we've just put in. Good choice of 2 rocks on this one. Yeah, definitely that one. The second one looks nicer. Now if you hold the X button, it goes a big area. You can just tap it, it does it a little bit. A lot of the rock will be covered in this video with like moss and stuff anyway, so you only see parts of it. A bit of sand all the way around for the shoreline, and we'll create a little beach as well. Right, rocks are good. The reptiles love landing on the rocks. They'll sit all the way around. Wherever you put rocks, they will land on them. So you want a good portion of rocks around the pond. Now I'm putting I'm going to put 2 species in this enclosure, so I'm going to have 2 feeders. And in the empty spaces you're going to want some trees, shrubs, bushes. And once again, if you just tap the X button or the A button or whatever console you're playing on lays it down, it doesn't put a big chunk down. You can always use the delete tool and just tap that button, and it just takes a few away. Otherwise they look kind of too dense, especially in a small aviary. It can be too much. So if you just tap that button on the delete tool, it just takes a few of them away. Nice. this is a different type of tree I'm putting down. It will remove some of the others. It's looking good. Right, then we just put some foliage down just to cover up the empty spaces. Some on the sand looks pretty good because you get the slight mossy effect as well across the sand. As I said, you'll get it on the rock as well. At this point I'm tapping that button just so you don't fill the whole area, just parts of it. But that's looking good. And we're going to put a perch in. Got two types of perches. You've got a small perch or a large one. I always prefer a large one. It's got 2 levels. You have to remember they will hang out mostly where the perches are and where the feeders are. So here we are, this is it all finished. This is the view from the gallery. As I was saying, if you have the feeders, if you have the galleries near the feeders, you'll get some better views of the dinosaurs. But I think it looks good. Obviously the smaller the size of aviary you have is the less dinosaurs you can have in and the less you can actually do with it. I prefer having an aviary built out of 5 domes, maybe more. It's just a view from the inside. If you really want, you can get the drone out and fly it around. Yeah, that's the small aviary. So now let's create a large aviary, and in this one, where it's going to be big enough, I will have a tour track running through the aviary as well. When I recorded this, I thought it'd be. I thought this would be enough. But, I always try to add more, make it bigger. Bigger the better. I added too much. But the best thing is you can always take it away. Right, so the best thing to do with any aviary is always start really with water. I'm just going to stick a couple of galleries in. Not yet. I've got to think about the best place to put them, depending on where you put the water. Now, as I'm going to have a track running through this, I'm going to make the lake big on one end and I'll curve it round. Start off small and you can make it wider. Obviously you need it a certain width so you can put the feeders in. But this is a video showing you how, not the best, I wouldn't say the best way of making an aviary. This is how I would probably make an aviary. I probably, in one of my parks, I probably wouldn't make an aviary this big. This is just to show you what you could do. Once again, I'm just going to raise this edge up. This is where the track's going to run across. You don't want the track behind the mound or on the side of the mound, because you won't get to see the full effect of the lake and where all the dinosaurs are actually going to be. So I'm going to make this ridge high enough with a nice little slope so the trucks are going to run over the top of it, which you see at the end. Just flatten it out a little bit. And just make sure you flatten it out, because when the trucks do go over, it's all bumpy and they can slide. It's best to have a nice smooth surface to put the track on. It's looking good. Nice. I think it just looks good as well, having that ridge up all the way around the sides. So we're going to do the same as the last one, have a rock face. Different maps have different environment paints. Some have white rock or different colours. Made a big sand beach. I just think it looks nice. I always have the sand all the way going around. I'm going to put a couple of galleries in. I will put a gallery in to show you putting a gallery in the wrong place is probably not the best idea. Right, I'm going to put the track in. I'm going to try and get it up on the slope so that it's not too rough when it goes up. A little bit of foliage all the way around. It's just tapping it. You don't need to hold it, you just need to tap. If you hold it, you'll get too much. I'm going to put this over all the way to the edge. Not too much, just enough so they have a little bit of coverage. I think that looks good. Stick a load of rocks in. Most of the time I prefer just the random rocks, and it will give you little ones, large ones, medium sized ones, different shapes. there's going to be quite a few in here. You're going to want a lot of places for them to land. I'm going to put a bit of foliage on the sandy beach area. Just tap it and look, you get that nice little mossy look on the beach. Cool, looks good. Stick a handful of perches in. I always put them near the feeders, especially where the tracks are. Just works well. And here's it finished. I have all the dinosaurs in. Plenty of feeders for the amount of dinosaurs that's in there. Plenty of perches, lots of room, plenty of water.
You may well witness was attempting to establish dominance while you were.
Right, I'll show you some views from the galleries. As you see, I haven't done it on the ridge, I've done it so you can see across the whole plain. Second gallery. I think I went a bit OTT because dinosaurs, but it's alright. If you're in a big enclosure, you want to see lots of animals. Tour.
Please be aware that loud noises can disturb our animals. Please refrain from making any sudden sounds. Animals have extremely delicate diets that require expert regulation. Please refrain from feeding our prehistoric animals. The beautiful cranial crest of Geosternbergia only materializes as the pterosaur matures and enters adulthood, with these frontal bones developing into a multitude of different sizes and shapes. The broad-winged, long-jawed Geosternbergia predates its closest relative, the pteranodon, with a characterful upright crest, differentiating it from its descendants. Barbarodactylus was named after the Barbary Coast region of North Africa, an area that many marine creatures called home. From sharks and turtles to plesiosaurs and mosasaurs, this would have been a prehistoric hotbed of life. The most dominant dinosaur in the group is recognized as the leader. However, not all changes in leadership are the result of conflict. Some of the more social dinosaur species achieve the dominant status through intimidation alone. Each dinosaur group you see in the park has a socially accepted leader. For some species, this leader is recognized as the group's alpha, but it may find itself being challenged regularly to retain its status.
Now, I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, this is a big aviary. I wouldn't have an aviary this big in my park. One, because it takes too much room up. And if you're going to fill it full of dinosaurs, you're looking at about 38 or 39 dinosaurs. It takes a lot away from the total you can have. But yeah, that's the tour. That's the two aviaries, the small aviary, the large aviary. I'm just going to quickly show you the gallery I put in front of the mound, just to show you that is probably not a good idea, because you won't see much. Yeah, no good at all. But yeah, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.